So, quick little video. This is not yesterday. Yesterday was Sunday. Today is Marvelous Monday, and so on. I got another, did I say, video on the church right quick to make. So here we go. I want everybody to understand when it comes to sexual abuse and those types of cover-ups and so on and so on within the church community. I'm definitely as equally, if not more, horrified / disgusted as most people, if not all people, and so on. But I want you to understand, I would never, even amongst those things, I would never, ever, 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 ever in a million years leave the church. Never. And I mean in terms of the church community at large. I would never, ever, 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 ever in a trillion years leave the church community at large because of a few sex abuse scandals. Just wouldn't do it. I can assure you, because the reason why is because that's like what Satan wants you to do. All these, again, though these acts, again, are super shameful and grotesque. But I'm telling you this, that, they are also tests. And I can assure you that that's like what Satan wants you to do. He wants you to abandon the church community at large. He wants you to abandon the church community in droves. He wants you to abandon God, Jesus, church, faith, religion, the Bible, all the above and more. He wants you to abandon all doctrine, etc., etc. He wants you to abandon it all. So you can find it easier to drift off into, worldliness. You can find it easier to drift off into secularism or whatever, word you want to use there, because I'm telling you, if you're not, in a sense, I hate to say submitting to the church, but more specifically, if you're not following church culture in one way or another, if you're not serving church culture one way or another, I'm telling you, you're serving the world. And I'm telling you, in this sense, serving the world is not what you need to be doing. Serving the world, following the world, in this sense, is not what you need to be doing. The world is just as depraved, just as depraved, just as sick, just as lost, just as confused, and a few other words I can use there as as the church is at times, and so on. I mean, I understand the church is supposed to act in good faith and cleanliness, and so on. But obviously, in these senses, the church has its scars, its sins, and so on and so on. I want people to understand very, very clearly that's a part of Satan's goal, Satan's plan, Satan's agenda, to make you give up on church, give up on God, faith, Jesus, Bible, religion, and so on, and fall into worldliness, fall into secularism, fall into whatever you want to call it as an excuse to live however you want to live with no moral compass and a few other things that I can name. Now, you can not be religious and still be a good person, obviously. But I mean, in the sense it's here of you, whether you believe in God or not, you're living a depraved life. I'm telling you, the world at large is light years worse than anything you have experienced and or are going through in the church. Light years worse. At least when the church, does it, they have a moral compass. They're just janky with how to follow it. Versus the world, they have no moral compass, and they're just eating each other alive every day like zombies. Compare and contrast with everything I just said. That's the big difference between the church community at large versus, the world at large. The world at large has no moral compass, and they're just doing everything based upon what fits their flesh in the moment. That's what they're doing. The church culture has a moral compass. They just might be janky at how they follow it at times and so on. I'm telling you, that's exactly what Satan wants you to do. He wants you to abandon the church community at large, abandon God, faith, Jesus Christ, religion, you name it, doctrine. He wants you to abandon it all for a life of even more misery, more depravity, and so on. So I want people to understand that you have to again, pray on which church you should belong to. Pray on the people that are there, and just keep living your life, as such. Because I'm telling you, in 2023, heading on in the long-term future, getting everybody as biblically woke and aware is what we have to do. We have to get everybody, acting with some sort of moral fruit and and righteous conscience, and so on and so on. Because if we're not doing these things, I'm telling you, what's left. And what's left is a bunch of worldliness that doesn't lead to eternal happiness any faster, any quicker, any better. And again, if you're in a church community, I'm not saying you have to be the most committed to what they're doing, the practices, the activities, building it up, and so on. No, I'm not saying that you have to have the most abundant church life at all. But what I'm saying is you have to try at something. You have to give the church some of your time in something. Have to try to interact. Have to try to do something. Say something, build with somebody. You have to try to give yourself, that doctrine time with other believers, and so on. 100 other ways I can phrase it, but I definitely think you understand the core values of what I'm making. I would never, ever, ever disband with the church community at large over the sins of a few, because I'm telling you that is the same thing as profiling. Same thing. That you're gonna judge everybody of a certain this or a certain that off the sins of one person that one person that committed committed such act, and so on. Again, just pray. I want everyone to understand videos like this. Just pray, pray, pray. For your place in church culture, for your place in your community, for your place in your school, for your place in your family, for your place in life, and let that guide you. Because I'm just being real. If you think that giving up the the church community at large, for the world, to let the world guide you, oh, you'll be more lost than anything that the church ever could have done with you, ever, and so on. At least with the church, we have a moral compass. We just might be janky, we might be followed at times, but the world has no moral compass at all, and they just do everything off of their flesh, and so on, and so on. I mean, I can keep repeating the same things, just saying them differently over and over again. So your Borderman, NJ to the city out. God bless. Reporting for the Jacks Breeze on YouTube. I love everybody. Again, this is something we're going to continue to talk about heavy on this channel and other outlets, other platforms that I have, because I'm telling you, I definitely am a passionate steward about church culture, church community, and how we can move more truth and transparency, and so on and so on. So we can get everybody back in the church and saved and baptized and everything else, versus full of depravity, full of sickness, and you know what I mean. God my witness, one witness unashamed, God first, God of everything more comes to you, boy, man, injured to the city out.